Welcome to the Pew!
Welcome to the Pew! The show that might be someday somewhere else.
Or maybe in the same place.
Or maybe in the same place. Or maybe someplace else. You never know. We're just going places. So, what are we talking about
We're
now?
thinking of going to the pharmacy to cure our binge eating disorders.
Yes, we all have
a
bed.
terrible new affliction that's sweeping the nation.
Sweeping the nation, called bed. Oh.
Now, I'm sure you've seen those banner ads on the internet where, you're just cruising along, Googling, whatever, and all of a sudden there's a banner asking you if you suffer from binge eating disorder and should you seek treatment.
Like this.
Happen in the evenings when I would be back by myself after a long day at the tennis courts and would just eat large quantities of food. My eating was just uncontrollable. Once the binge was over, I felt so upset with myself. For me, it took a long time to seek professional help because there's a stigma around it, and I think being an athlete, being in the public eye also didn't help. So when I did feel comfortable enough to reach out to a doctor and talk about my condition, it was really like a huge relief.
So, serious, right? Are you scared?
I mean, I saw that and I'm thinking, at first I thought it was a parody. I mean, because I'm thinking, I have a very serious, I wake up in the middle, before I go to bed, I, have a snack at 11 o'clock, and I used to think that there was something wrong with me. I was gaining weight, but now I know that there's nothing wrong with me. I have a disease that can't be cured, but can be treated with this medication.
This simple little pill.
Simple little pill, yes. Another simple little pill.
And it really solves a lot of my problems from the past because I used to think that I had a binge eating disorder, like back in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, I used to wake up in the morning and I'd have like half a Twix. And then, 6 hours later I'd be hungry again and I was wondering, what's wrong with me? So then...
There had to be something wrong with me.
So, I was doing a lot of crystal meth back then, and it took away the hunger. I could go literally days without having to think about food and all those nagging thoughts about meals.
And think of the morbid obesity that you've saved yourself from
right.
These days. You could have been,
and at that time I thought, well, maybe I have a drug problem. Am I using this drug too much? Is once a day too much?
That's the media trying to brainwash you into thinking.
Now I realize that
using crystal meth.
Exactly. So now I realize I was simply self-medicating with
It was preventative medicine.
Right. It was preventive medicine.
Right.
It was a cure for a disease that hadn't been diagnosed yet.
It was a vaccine.
Right.
It was a vaccine for bed. You inoculated yourself from bed. You will never get bed now.
I'll never suffer from binge eating disorder.
Right.
And I feel like I'm cured.
And you'll never be morbidly obese.
Never.
So, but this bed thing really is serious. I mean, actually, when I first saw it, I honestly thought that it was going to break into, all of a sudden a Pizza Hut commercial or something, like it was a parody, because it was so ridiculous. I mean, I've seen ridiculous, but this is like ridiculous. And now it's at the point where we can't tell the difference between reality and fantasy, or reality and reality TV.
Right. Because it almost looked like one of those Saturday Night Live commercial parodies.
I mean, she is so
is it real or isn't it?
And she's young. She's like 20-something, and she's, like a model. And, she does not look like she's had any binge eating disorder.
Well, I would think that if you're going to do a commercial about binge eating, does it show her like stuffing her face with all this food?
No.
Okay. Well, this is post binge eating then.
Well, she doesn't look like she's ever had it. She's like,
She doesn't look like she's ever even eaten a French fry.
No, she looks like she's one of those models that eats out of thimbles or whatever.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Bow down to the party monster. Bow down to the party monster.
Welcome back to the Pew.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Pew, where Ernie was at Steve Strange's wake.
I was not at Steve Strange's
In
wake,
front of the
although
television.
I would have loved to have been
He
there.
was at the wake in front of the television.
I was at work, actually, not doing my work.
He was at work watching the wake.
Yeah, Boy George's eulogy was posted on YouTube by, I think, one of the British newspapers, and his eulogy was very touching of Steve Strange. Just had wonderful things to say about him, and there were scenes of the coffin being carried in.
See, I always said Boy George is a really good actor. He should probably have, gone into acting or something.
Well, he's no doubt a wonderful performer, and his
He's a
performances.
wonderful performer.
His performances in Taboo, the musical, were fabulous. I went to see.
Apparently, the show lasted.
Well, that doesn't mean it wasn't fabulous.
No.
The show was great.
No, great.
Loved it. So anyway,
I would have actually liked to have seen it.
I was shocked by how
Ended
old
so soon.
a lot of the new wave stars looked. I mean, some of them just have not aged well, including the stars from Spandau Ballet,
Actually,
and the lead singer from ABC, and the lead singer from Erasure.
Actually, Boy George did age well.
He's the only one that looks really good.
Boy George actually looks really good.
He looks, of all of them, he looks the best.
He looks really, but he always, he went through that period where he didn't look good, and you thought that was the end. But then now he looks great again.
Yeah, and he's kind of chubby right now, but even being chubby, he looks good.
Yeah, but he's not too chubby. He's not like he was. I think he's
Looks
healthily chubby. And when you get older,
Pleasantly plump.
when you get older, you want to. Amanda and I had this conversation once that when you get older, you want to expand a little bit, like a pound a year, so that you like push out your fat, your face, that you don't get wrinkles. I'm doing that right. We're doing it the right way, right?
Yes.
A pound a year.
A pound.
Pound a year. Yeah, I could have. Because
Bitches want to know.
Bitches want to know. You heard that, right? That I said that Boy George looked really good.
We never said he didn't.
Well, in case anybody says he didn't, I'm here to argue otherwise. He looks great.
Stylist Matt is loving Shampoo Horns. And he's wondering if this feels like a more accurate portrayal of the Club Kid era than Party Monster. I would say neither of them is an actual really good portrayal.
No, but I think he's right. I think Shampoo Horns is slightly more real, more realistic, because Party Monster was sort of almost slapsticky,
Yeah, Party Monster was not realistic at all.
At all.
And Shampoo Horns is, because it actually has a lot of the club people in it.
Right.
And a lot of them were drug messes at that time, and
Right.
they're drug messes in the movie.
And I think it's also more realistic because it wasn't intended to be a sensationalistic story of club. It was sort of a story that just happened to be in Clubland. So, the Clubland is more realistic.
Oh, okay.